All right, welcome back, everybody. We're in our second lesson on how to immediately capture your audience's attention. So we talked about in the first lesson what it's like when you first walk on that stage and how you must know what you're going to say. Those first words are essential. But we also talked about in that first lesson, which was equally as important, your tone. How you project your voice. Breathing practices. You must breathe when you're about to speak. And understanding how to slow down your speech so that each word you say is understood and you articulate yourself with poise and with class. Every word should be understood by your audience. So today we're hopping into our second phase of how to immediately capture your audience's attention. And this will be the more practical, hands-on approaches that you will use when you are wowing that audience. So, starting matters. I can't express it enough. How you start is how you finish. How you start is how you finish. You can write that down. You can take a note of that. That's a very important point. So the first thing you need to understand when you're starting, it is very important that you understand the attention span of your audience. The attention span, when studied by many, it is simply the amount of concentrated time on a task without being distracted. So, of course, things happen. Somebody walks in the room, somebody coughs, somebody sneezes. Those things are basic attention distractors. But you don't want to be the attention distractor because you're too monotone, because you're not as engaging, because there is no emotion, or because there is no excitement. So, how do you keep your audience's attention? How do you wow them quickly? First thing, understand that you are looking to grab their attention immediately because you only have approximately 8 seconds. Studies have shown that our attention span has dropped from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. If I don't get your attention in the first 8 seconds of my presentation, I can very well lose your participation. So I must get your attention in the first 8 seconds. I got to do something. I got to say something. I got to make myself so vocal that in the first 8 seconds, you're thinking, what is he going to say next? Or where is he going from here? Or what is this speech all about? Or why am I sitting here? Even if they get upset, I can't believe he said that. Whatever it is, in the first 8 seconds, I got to get the attention of my audience. So, how do I do that? With a plan. I have to have a plan to do that. So, you need to start writing down what it is you want to accomplish in your presentation. Your presentation is like a map. It's a focus map. It's a concentrated focus map. You cannot just mosey into a well-drafted presentation. You just can't roll into an awesome speech. You need to hit the ground running by starting strong. Key points to starting strong. Let's go into that. Your intro. Here we go. We're going into the nuts and bolts of your speech. How do we start strong? First thing, the shock treatment. It works every time. If you shock them, you can win them. If you shock them, it's like thinking about watching a movie for the first time. Some of the best movies in the world hit you with the shock treatment at the beginning of the movie. Start with something unexpected. Say something that no one was expecting you to say. Your audience is not uninformed. So you need to make sure when you're using the shock treatment, align your opening with your presentation. So let me give you an example. If I stand in front of a group of salesmen, who in here sold at least $100,000 worth of material last year? Stand up right now. That's shock treatment. No one expects to be called out on the carpet in front of people, verbal or nonverbal, but it works as a result of having a plan. Plan first, Shock treatment second. And these are the four ways, the four amazing ways that it works best. Shock treatment works either with storytelling. A good story, a good short story will do it every time. Second is you use something that's interesting or surprising statistically. Interesting or surprising statistics, talking to a group of religious people. You know what? 8 out of 10 people would go to church if somebody invited them. But guess what? Only 2% of all churchgoers nationwide actually invite people to church. Shock treatment using statistics. Number 3 would be, if permitted, shock them by lighting a match or juggling. Now, I know this is extreme, and I know those are two extremes, but I'm trying to push you to the limit where you will see that it requires you getting outside of yourself and doing something that will get your audience to focus as you wow them with something spectacular. And the last but not least, a quick joke. Quick and to the point. Something hilarious. So use these skills, practice these practices, and meet me in the next section because we are going deeper. Now we've got the shock treatment done. Now you're ready to do a presentation. You know how to start off with some powerful tools and some powerful tips. Now we're going to jump into engaging your audience. Because after you shock them, you need to bring them in to your world. That's what we're talking about the next class. It is a powerful lesson. Don't miss it. Click below. Continue with me. You're going to enjoy this lesson. Bring your notebook. You're going to need it. See you soon.